Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee with the Moms. It's Nicole today, and if you couldn't tell by the title, I'm just going to give you guys, I had a little bit of extra time to research last night, so I just wrote down some things that I find that are important when it comes to like knowing about like what you can and can't do with daycares, like in-home daycares. Now mind you, this is for New York State. I'm sure each state has their own types of rules, but I just wanted to, I had time, so I found 4 different things that I thought would be great to know for parents that are looking at daycares and, you know, don't want to do a center or, you know, can afford an in-home daycare. I tend to find that daycare centers are a little bit more expensive. They have a little bit more overhead. They have to have more insurance, which is totally understandable. So I just thought that I would I'd share that with you. I'll stop with the intro. That was good enough, right? All right, so main thing, how many kids can one daycare provider have? This is a big thing to me, I think, because you don't want your daycare provider to be, you know, spreading themselves too thin, right? Like, you just don't. So each one person can have 8 kids. That does sound like a lot, but that is what the state allows in New York State. Just so you know, it is New York State. But it also depends on the ages. So like, I have my notes. If I'm looking down, that's why. So you can have 2 children under 2. So from 6 weeks to 2 years old. You can only have 2 of those children at that age. That's it, no more. That's all you can have. And then you can have 4 kids, 2 and older. And those are set. That is the amount that you can have for each one. So 2 under 2, 4 from, you know, 2 until, I think it's, you know, 4, 5. And then all the rest of them, so then you can have 2 more of like school age. So that would be, you know, kids that are in school, kindergarten, you know, into up to 12. That's how old you can have kids in your daycare. 12 is the oldest. So your daycare provider can range from 6 weeks to 12 years old. Now, that's not to say that all providers are going to do that. Some might want to watch, you know, more toddlers and all that business. They might want to watch more school agers. That's all up to them. Here's the other thing. Any school age kid, so any kid from 5 until 12 can take one of those spots of the 2-year-olds or the 2 to 5-year-olds. So, you know, if they only want to watch one infant, you know, from a year to 2 years, and then they replace that with a school age kid, they're allowed to do that. If they don't want to have infants, if they don't want to watch little kids, they could add 2 more. You know, if they only have 2 toddlers and they have, you know, and then they have 4 school agers, that's fine too. So just know that they can do that. You know, sometimes it is hard to tell what age kids are, but just look out for that. I think that's a huge thing, and this is the reason why. I feel like one person can only handle so much, and an infant is going to need more care than a 10-year-old. They're going to, right? You have to watch all the children, but you're going to need to give more attention to the infant than you will a 10-year-old. You know, a 10-year-old, you can let them sit there and read a book by themselves, you know, whereas you can't really do that with, you know, a kid under 2. You kind of have to keep an eye on them. They're going to, you know, they're not going to sit still for that long. So that's a huge thing, just to keep a look out. And this is also for people that are licensed, you know, because if the state were to come in and look and realize that they have more than those kids, then they, you know, they'll get in trouble for that. So each provider has to have a healthcare plan, and it's not an insurance healthcare plan. It is a healthcare plan on how they're going to do things and handle things. So this is a huge range, and I can get in more depth than that if you would like. The healthcare plan can go from anything from what type of ointments they're going to put on to how they're going to diaper your child, what they're going to use to diaper your child, where they're going to diaper, you know, how they're going to take their gloves off, how they are going to make sure their food prepping area is sanitized, to how they're going to sanitize their changing stations and where they're changing the children, to the solutions they are going to use to clean those. So that is a broad thing that they're doing. Now, you can ask to have a copy of it. Some providers may just give it to you so you have it. Some may not. The reasoning is because I want to say it's 41 pages long. So it's a big booklet. There is a lot in there. But if you want to say, if you just want to look over something and you want to know, or if you just want one page of that, like you want to know what type of cleaning solutions they're going to use, they can tell you. I mean, it's easy enough for somebody to tell you, and they can easily show you. Or you can have a paper so that you can keep that in mind if you ever forget or question it again. And like I said, you can ask for a copy, and they should be able to provide you with a copy. They should, like, even if you just want to look it over, they should be able to provide it, because they always have to have one on hand at all times. Because when the state comes in, they look at all their paperwork and what they have, and that's one of the things you always have to have on site at all times. So if they come in and they see you changing a kid and then you're changing the child a different way than you were supposed to, they're going to be like, well, that's not what you have in your healthcare plan, you might want to change it. Or if you're not like, they have specific guidelines. So like, even though they may have a different way, it has to be approved. Everything has to be approved by the state. So they can't just change things on a whim. I mean, they can, but they can get in trouble. So fire drills, they are supposed to have them once a month. They should have smoke detectors and CO detectors in every room that your child is being cared for. You also are expected to have them in every room or every level of the house, even if they're not in, even if your children aren't in care in those rooms. So like my bedroom, I'm not caring for children in my bedroom, but I have to have one in my bedroom. My son's room, I'm not taking care of kids in there, but that's where that I would have to have one in there. So also, they should have the fire exits posted wherever the main care area is, or wherever they are going to be. So if they're in 2 different rooms, they need to have the exit plans in each room. You can ask for a copy if you would like, but they should be posted very visibly. And ask your kids if they're doing it. Ask their kids if you know. I think this is a huge thing, because your child needs to make sure they know where to line up and where to be, you know, so every kid can get out faster. I think this is a huge thing. It's a huge thing for safety. God forbid, if anything is to happen, they know. You know, you could, if you feel the need, you could ask it to be present for one, and they can tell you when they're going to have it. They have to keep a log of that. You know, when they do that, they should have 2 exits. So every month they should, you know, they can be going on and off, and like this exit this month and then this exit this month, so that all the kids know every exit. If it were me, anytime I had a new child, their first day, I may do a fire drill. I may tell the parents before, so that the kid isn't, you know, stressed about it. So because they won't know, but it's so that they do know. There is a time limit that you're supposed to, you know, get out and everything. They should have a safe spot where they're all going to meet. If you want to know where that spot is, just ask. If people are doing things the way they should be, they should have no problem answering any questions that you may have. But these are just things that I feel like are some of the most important ones that you should know as a parent, and that I would want to know as a parent. But yeah, so, and a lot of them they will turn on that noise of the smoke detector. So, you know, if a kid comes home and says, oh, well, there's this really loud noise, it hurt my ears, it's kind of to get the kids used to it. So like, God forbid, if it does happen and they hear it, they know, and they can jump right in and know exactly what to do. I don't think that's a bad thing. It may hurt the kids' ears a little bit. I mean, if you have a child that has issues with noises and stuff, that's definitely something that you would want to talk about when you are interviewing the person. That's, you know, that is something that you should tell them up front, not when you're dropping your kid off. Oh, by the way, they can't handle any loud noises, or there's other issues. You should always have that conversation beforehand. The more they know, the better they can take care of your child, right? And the last thing, and I know that some parents will get annoyed with this one, because, you know, if your newborn hasn't slept all night, well, not your newborn, but, you know, your 6-week-old, and they finally fall asleep in the car and you drop them off, and then that daycare provider goes and picks that baby up and wakes the baby up, it's because they have to. by law, you're not allowed to let a child sleep in their car seat. And that's just what it is. It's the law. They have to follow it. God forbid if something were to happen, or, it's on them. They just want to take care of your children and make sure they're healthy and taken care of. They can 100% take them right out of there and put them in a pack and play, or, a crib. That's, a lot of kids, when they're that asleep, for the most part, if you gently move them to one area, they're totally fine. But I know that can be a little annoying for parents, but it's just what they have to do. And don't get upset, don't yell at them, because it's the law and they're just trying to keep your child safe. But those are just some of the things. And listen, I could make 100 videos on everything that we have to do and have to have, and all the paperwork. Just make sure it's all up to you also. Go to a bunch of different providers, check out their pricing, check out their house, look around, pick up on cues and stuff like that. Like, come with a checklist if you want. Like, I would love that. Like, if you have specific answers, by all means, I'd rather have you do that and sit there with an hour or two with you answering all your questions so you feel at ease, because, like, that's your kid. Like, ask any question you want. But I definitely, and I know that, like, on Pinterest and stuff like that, you can find really good questionnaires for, like, daycare providers and stuff like that, and what to look out for. But these are just 4 of the bigger things that I thought that I would share with you guys today. I hope you guys found this informative. If you like these types of videos, please give a thumbs up. I can definitely make a little bit more of these videos. I do plan on making a video showing you my spaces that I'm going to be taking care of the kids in. That'll be coming soon. I will definitely get that up for you too. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions that you want answered, you can put them below in the comment section, and then I can make a video on and answer those questions for you guys. That'd be a great video if you needed to know anything. But again, this is for New York State. Every state is different. I'm not sure about any other states. I'm sure they run along the same lines, as it's all to keep your children safe. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time me or Lisa posts a new video.